Alright friends, so today we're going to learn about party invitations. So kind of like the one that Peter made when he was writing his letter to Amy for his birthday party. Remember on this page when he's sitting down and writing it? And he says, "Will you please come to my birthday party, Peter? It's Saturday at 2." So I'm going to show you guys some different kinds of invitations. And I'll start with one that I wrote for you guys. So I'm pretending that I'm having a party, and so I wrote, "You're invited," and it says, "To what? Megan's party." And the date, I said November 5th, 2018, so people know when to come. And I made sure I put the time for 2 o'clock. Peter almost forgot to put the time, and it's hard for people to know when to come if you don't say when. So that's one way to do an invitation. You can just write it yourself like Peter did, or you can go to the store and buy invitations. So they make pre-made invitations and they all look a little bit different. There are lots of ones to pick from. So like this is just the front side that says "Come party," and on the back it has a spot for you to write what it's for, when it is, the time, and where. You can get other ones that look like cards that open up, and it's the same thing. It just has the details for people to know what they're coming to, when it is, the date, the place, and the occasion. So these are some options you could use, but Peter decided not to go buy special invitations, and maybe it was because he was only making one, but he just used a piece of paper and then he put the paper in an envelope, and so that was pretty simple. And I don't think he even used any decorations or anything. It was just plain paper and a plain envelope. So you guys are going to turn to your Jumpstart friends and take a look at some more invitations and fill one out together. Okay, so in small groups, the kids can, they're all going to come up with some event that they want to have together, and the core member is going to help them write in what the occasion is, the time, the date, and the place, and it can be whatever kind of party they want to have. So after that happens, you're going to collect all of them and then just pick one to read. So, okay friends, so I got all of your invitations, so I'm going to read this one that my friends made. This is one that my program assistant made me last year. For Mrs. Penrod, the date, November 30th, time, 9 p.m., place, sports, and he wrote a number for me to RSVP to. And so he wrote that the event is at 9 p.m., so you can either write time in what's called a digital form. So he wrote 9 o'clock like this so that I know what time the party was, but you can also tell time by looking at a clock. So the way a clock works is you have all the different numbers for the different times of the day. So we have 12, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. And so this is the face of the clock. And I added all of my numbers for the different hours of the day. And then it has hands. So the little short hand shows you the hour, and the long hand shows you the minute. So this is saying that the party is at 9 o'clock. Okay. Okay, so, and then you can explain to them that they can write their own invitations and stuff at writing and however else you want to lead into it. All right, so for the second day. All right, so I remember the last time we were here that we talked about the party that Peter had in a letter to Amy and how he wrote his special invitation for her. But another thing that people do to prepare for a party or an event is they like to make really special foods for it. So for this book, for this party, You can see that Peter's mom made this really special cake that they put the candles on so he could blow out. So his mom baked a birthday cake for his party. And we've read some other books so far where the characters were cooking. So I remember in A Birthday Basket for Tia, Cecilia's mother was cooking beans and some fruit she cut up for Tia's party. And the Little Red Hen worked really hard to make that yummy pizza that took all of those ingredients. And in any of the books that we've read, we don't see a cookbook or recipes, right? But usually when people cook, a lot of times, they'll look at a recipe to figure out how to make things, because we don't always know how to make everything we want to make. And so other people figure it out for us and write it down, and we can follow their directions. So I have a few different recipes. So usually the way recipes look is there's a spot where it says ingredients and it lists all of the things that you need to get to make that recipe. And that would have been helpful for the Little Red Hen because then she wouldn't have forgotten to buy anything. It was all on there. And then it also shows you instructions. So it tells you what to do with all of those ingredients, how to put them together, how to bake them, all of that stuff. And a cookbook is just basically a bunch of these all in one book. So if you have a cookbook you could bring in to show them, that'd be good. Or you could also have someone go to the library for you and just pick out a cookbook that you could use for this and just show them a few pages from it to show them how it's like compiled. Okay, and then in their small groups, they're going to look at some recipe cards. I have a bunch of these printed out already. If you want me to put them in your core members bins, I can do that. Just let me know. And so the kids can look at it and comment on the different recipes and maybe talk about things that they cook at home. So in the Little Red Hen, when she makes the pizza, she has all of those different pans to cook with. So she has a cake pan, a muffin pan, a bread pan, and people use lots of different cooking tools to make food. There's lots of different things that you can use. So most people use measuring cups and measuring spoons to make sure they're measuring out the right amount of ingredients. You sometimes use a whisk to stir everything together and make sure it's all mixed up. Sometimes you use a rolling pin, like if you have dough, like if you were making pizza, you could use it to roll out the dough. So there's all kinds of stuff that you can use. Can you guys think of any other tools that you use in the kitchen? And then you can get some responses from them. And I'm thinking that Peter's mom probably would have used some of these tools when she made the cake. My guess is she definitely used a measuring cup and measuring spoons because you have to be really specific about how many ingredients you put in when you're baking a cake. So today in Dramatic Play, you can pretend to bake a cake yourselves and write your own recipes. Okay, that's group meeting.